You are not ordinary. You are not here by accident. You are not walking this earth without purpose. If you carry a sense deep within your spirit that you were born for something greater, something sacred, something beyond the normal patterns of this world, it is because you are part of God's chosen. Being God's favorite chosen one does not mean life is easier. It means life is more meaningful, more intense, and more spiritually charged. It means heaven is invested in your destiny, and your journey is guided by divine intention. One of the strongest signs that you are God's chosen is the weight of purpose you carry. From an early age, you may have felt different. While others chased shallow dreams, you felt pulled towards something deeper. You may not always have been able to explain it, but your heart knew you were created for impact. You think beyond trends, beyond popularity, beyond temporary success. You feel restless when you are not walking in purpose, because your spirit refuses to settle for a small or meaningless life. Another powerful sign is the spiritual sensitivity you possess. You sense things others ignore. You feel spiritual atmospheres, emotional shifts, and divine nudges. Your intuition is strong because your spirit is aligned with God's voice. Sometimes this sensitivity can feel overwhelming. You may feel deeply, care deeply, and carry emotional and spiritual burdens others cannot see. But this sensitivity is not weakness. It is a divine gift. God trusts you with awareness because He trusts your heart. Chosen ones often experience isolation. You may have felt misunderstood, separated, or lonely, even in crowds. Not everyone can relate to your mindset, your depth, or your spiritual hunger. God sometimes removes you from certain people to protect your destiny. Isolation shapes you. It strengthens your character, sharpens your focus, and draws you closer to Him. While others seek comfort in crowds, you learn to find strength in God's presence. Trials and hardships are another major sign. God's chosen are refined through fire. You may have faced rejection, betrayal, disappointment, or emotional wounds that seemed unfair. Yet, despite the pain, you keep rising. You keep believing, you keep growing. The enemy often targets chosen ones because of their potential, but every attack becomes a stepping stone. Your pain transforms into wisdom. Your struggles become testimonies. Your scars become symbols of survival and divine protection. You also carry a heart of compassion and empathy. You feel moved by the pain of others. You desire to heal, uplift, guide, or inspire. You cannot ignore injustice, suffering, or spiritual darkness. God places a burden on your heart for people, for truth, for righteousness. Even when you feel exhausted, your love remains strong. This compassion is evidence that God has entrusted you with a shepherd's heart. Another sign is your resistance to darkness and compromise. While others may blend into the world's patterns, your spirit rejects corruption. You feel uncomfortable participating in things that conflict with your values. You may be tempted like everyone else, but your conscience convicts you quickly. You are held to a higher standard, not to punish you, but because God sees your potential to influence others. You also experience divine protection in unusual ways. Looking back, you may realize that God saved you from harm, redirected your steps, or closed doors that would have destroyed you. Even in dangerous or confusing moments, something always preserved you. God guards His chosen, not because they are perfect, but because their assignment matters. Chosen ones often carry creative, visionary, or leadership qualities. You see possibilities others cannot imagine. You think differently. You dream boldly. You feel inspired to build, create, teach, preach, or innovate. You may not always feel confident, but your ideas and perspectives are unique. God plants vision inside you because He intends for you to shape the future. Gleaned, a strong sign is your hunger for God's presence. You crave spiritual depth. Surface-level faith does not satisfy you. You seek understanding, truth, prayer, wisdom, and divine connection. Your soul longs for God not out of fear, but out of love and purpose. You feel empty when distant from Him, and complete when close to Him. You may also notice that people are drawn to you even when you do not try to attract attention. Your energy, words, and presence influence others. Some people feel inspired by you, others feel threatened. Light exposes darkness. Your existence challenges comfort zones. You may experience admiration and opposition at the same time, because your destiny disrupts normality. Being God's chosen does not mean you will never doubt. In fact, chosen ones often wrestle with self-doubt, fear, and uncertainty. But even in doubt, your faith does not die. You may stumble, but you rise again. You may question, but you keep seeking. God's hand remains upon you even when you feel unworthy. Clunes, you also feel a strong sense of responsibility. You understand that your life is not only about personal success. You want to make a difference. You want your existence to matter. You want to leave a legacy of faith, impact, and transformation. This awareness comes from God's calling over your life. Being one of the clearest signs is divine timing in your journey. While others may rush, your path unfolds in stages. God prepares you before promoting you. Delays are not denial, they are preparation. Every waiting season strengthens your character and builds your spiritual foundation. Chosen ones are often disciplined through correction. God shapes you, humbles you, teaches you, and refines your character. You may feel convicted when you fall short. You learn from mistakes. You grow from correction. God invests in you because He sees greatness within you. Don't you also have the ability to endure? When others give up, you persevere. When others quit, you continue. Strength flows through you in moments you thought would break you. This resilience is not human, it is divine empowerment. Mendy, you carry hope even in darkness. Even when surrounded by negativity, you believe in light. You speak life when others speak fear. You inspire courage when others surrender to doubt. God places hope within you because you are meant to remind others that miracles are possible. There is also a sense of destiny attached to your life. You feel guided, protected, and directed. Even when lost, something always brings you back to purpose. God steers your steps, even when you do not realize it. Chemja, you may notice that your blessings are often connected to service. When you help others, doors open. When you uplift others, you are uplifted. God rewards your generosity, humility, and sincerity. Your success is meant to bless more than just yourself. You also feel convicted to grow spiritually, mentally, and morally. Comfort zones do not satisfy you. You desire transformation. You want to evolve. God pushes you toward maturity because He expects more from you. At times, your path may feel heavy. The calling can feel lonely. The responsibility can feel overwhelming. But you are never abandoned. God strengthens those He calls. He empowers those He chooses. He equips those He appoints. Being God's favorite chosen one is not about pride. It is about humility. It is not about superiority. It is about responsibility. It is not about perfection. It is about purpose. If you see these signs in your life, it means heaven recognizes you. It means God is shaping you into something powerful. It means your story matters more than you realize. You are called to rise. You are called to inspire. You are called to transform. You are called to walk in faith, courage, and obedience. The journey may be challenging, but the reward is eternal. God's favor surrounds you, His hand guides you, and His purpose defines you. Being God's chosen means your life is not random, accidental, or meaningless. There is a divine purpose attached to your existence, and every season you walk through is connected to a greater plan designed by God. Long before you were born, your destiny was written, and your spirit carries a calling that goes beyond ordinary ambitions. You may feel a deep inner pull toward significance, impact, and purpose that others do not fully understand. This sense of divine direction often makes you feel different. But that difference is evidence that your life is set apart for something greater than personal success or temporary achievement. Carrying divine purpose also means you are guided by hand in ways that are not always visible, but always powerful. Even when you feel uncertain, lost, or unsure of your next step, God is working behind the scenes to align you with His will. Closed doors, delays, and unexpected changes are not signs of failure. They are signs of divine redirection. God protects His chosen by steering them away from harm, shaping their decisions, and placing them in situations that strengthen their character and prepare them for future responsibilities. A major part of being chosen is having spiritual sensitivity. You perceive things on a deeper level than most people. You may sense emotional shifts, spiritual atmospheres, or divine nudges that guide your decisions. Your conscience is often strong, and you feel convicted when something does not align with God's truth. This sensitivity can sometimes feel overwhelming, causing emotional depth and spiritual awareness that others may not relate to. However, this gift allows you to stay aligned with God's voice, and recognize His guidance in moments when others remain unaware. Being spiritually sensitive also means you are more aware of the impact of your words, actions, and choices. You understand that even small decisions can carry spiritual consequences. This awareness often leads you to live with integrity, caution, and intentionality. While others may act without considering long-term effects, you feel compelled to seek wisdom, pray for guidance, and remain mindful of God's standards. This higher level of awareness is not a burden meant to limit you, but a divine privilege that keeps you walking on the right path. Another core aspect of being God's chosen is the responsibility placed upon your life. Your journey is not only about personal growth, it is about the influence you will have on others. You are meant to inspire, uplift, guide, and impact people through your faith, character, and actions. God entrusts His chosen with leadership, wisdom, and the ability to bring light into dark places. This responsibility but it exists because God trusts you with meaningful assignments that contribute to His greater purpose. Ultimately, being God's chosen means living with divine alignment, awareness, and accountability. You are called to walk with humility, obedience, and courage, knowing that your life carries eternal significance. Every experience you go through, whether joyful or painful, serves a role in shaping your destiny. God's hand remains upon you, His favor surrounds you, and His purpose continues to unfold through your journey. You are not just living for today, you are fulfilling a divine mission that will echo beyond your lifetime. Trials, isolation, and challenges are not signs that God has abandoned you. They are evidence that He is shaping you. When God chooses someone for a higher purpose, He allows pressure to build character and adversity to produce strength. Every hardship you face carries a lesson, a refinement, and a divine intention. What feels like pain is often preparation. What feels like delay is often. God uses difficulty as a tool to mold His chosen into resilient, wise, and spiritually grounded individuals who can handle greater responsibility. Mendy isolation is one of the most misunderstood parts of the chosen journey. There are seasons when you may feel separated from people, misunderstood by friends, or disconnected from familiar environments. This is not rejection, it is divine positioning. God sometimes removes His chosen from distractions, unhealthy relationships, or limiting environments so they can grow in clarity, strength, and spiritual depth. In solitude, your character is built, your faith is tested, and your dependence on God is strengthened. Isolation is not loneliness. It is preparation in private before promotion in public. Challenges also teach endurance. Many people quit when life becomes difficult, but chosen ones are trained to persist. When you face setbacks, disappointments, or repeated failures, something within you refuses to surrender. That inner strength is not accidental, it is divine empowerment. God builds perseverance in His chosen so they can stand firm under pressure, resist discouragement, and continue moving forward even when the road feels heavy. Every obstacle becomes a training ground for resilience and courage. Hardship also deepens your faith. When everything is easy, faith remains shallow. But when life tests you, when answers seem delayed, when prayers feel unanswered, when hope feels fragile, your faith matures. You learn to trust God beyond your understanding. You learn to rely on His timing rather than your expectations. In these moments, your relationship with God becomes stronger, more authentic, and more powerful. Pain transforms into spiritual depth, and trials become the foundation of unshakable belief. Blend another powerful transformation that comes through trials is wisdom. Every experience, whether painful or joyful, teaches you something valuable. Betrayal teaches discernment. Failure teaches humility. Struggle teaches patience. Loss teaches gratitude. God uses your experiences to shape your perspective, refine your judgment, and prepare you to guide others. Your testimony becomes a source of inspiration. Your scars become proof of survival. Your story becomes a light for those walking through similar darkness. Dondi, in the end, challenges do not weaken God's chosen. They elevate them. Every battle strengthens your character. Every storm increases your spiritual authority. Every trial brings you closer to the person God designed you to become. What others see as hardship is actually divine preparation for influence, leadership, and impact. God does not waste pain. He transforms it into power, wisdom, and purpose, shaping His chosen into individuals who can endure, inspire, and change lives. Being God's favorite chosen one is a profound calling that goes beyond ordinary life. It is not defined by comfort, ease, or approval from the world, but by purpose, divine guidance, and spiritual alignment. If you recognize the signs, the sense of destiny, spiritual sensitivity, compassion, resilience, and the ability to rise above trials, it is clear that God has set you apart for greatness. Your life is meant to impact others, inspire hope, and fulfill a higher mission that only you can accomplish. Every challenge you face, every season of isolation, every moment of doubt or struggle is part of God's plan to refine you, strengthen your faith, and prepare you for your divine. The trials are not punishments, but stepping stones that build wisdom, endurance, and spiritual maturity. Your journey, though is guided by a loving God who sees your potential and walks with you through every step. Named as a chosen one, you are called to live intentionally, to embrace your gifts, and to walk boldly in the path God has prepared for you. You are not ordinary, and your life is not ordinary. Every experience, every obstacle, and every blessing is part of a divine story that will leave an eternal impact. Remember, being chosen is not about pride or status. It is about responsibility, purpose, and influence. You are entrusted with a calling that requires courage, faith, and obedience. The world needs your light, your voice, and your testimony. Step into your purpose with confidence, knowing that God's favor surrounds you, His hand guides you, and your destiny is secure in His plan. Rise, chosen one, and live the extraordinary life you were created for. Your journey matters, your story matters, and your life is a testament to God's power, love, and divine intention. Embrace your calling, walk in faith, and know that you are truly God's favorite.